Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and I wanted to go into this name of the newest Sevid variant, Eris. And as you can see right here, it says Eris was the goddess or personified spirit of strife, discord, contention, and rivalry. And these terms are all terms that could come about if this new variant leads into further lockdowns and further restrictions that come with that. And this time it's going to go a lot differently if that indeed does happen, which I believe it will happen. But this time the division has already picked up a lot, just like Eris's name. But there are certain people that are pro the lockdowns and pro the restrictions, while there are other people that are completely against it and will probably be rioting and causing all sorts of sedition and going against their kings and princes, as the scriptures say. And so we will see. This could literally start a civil war if that indeed does happen. And so let's actually get some of these words. Oops, Salakia. I've got strife pulled up, and it says it's to quarrel, to fight, to discord, to fight, to battle, to combat, conflict, torment, distress, dispute, quarrel. And all these are very similar meanings. Contention, and this is all from the Etymon online. Contention is strife, dissension, quarreling, a vigorous struggling, just as Jacob and Esau did in the womb. It says a contest, a fight. And then the last one, discord. Unfriendly feeling, ill will, dissension, strife. Disagreeing or disagreement. And so we see that basically they're all bringing, all those terms show division and disagreements. It says she was often portrayed more specifically as the daemona, which goes into spirit of the strife of war, haunting the battlefield, delighting in human bloodshed. Sounds like Esau himself. It says because of Eris's disagreeable nature, she was the only goddess not to be invited to the wedding of Peleus and Thetis. When she turned up anyway and was refused admittance, she raged and threw a golden apple amongst the goddesses, inscribed to the fairest. It says three lay claim to it, Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena, and in their rivalry brought about the events leading up to the Trojan War. Eris was closely identified with the war goddess Io. Homer uses the names interchangeably. Her Roman name was Discordia. And so just finishing up on this last little bit here. It says Eris, the goddess who calls forth war and discord, according to the Iliad, she wanders about, at first small and insignificant, but she soon raises her head up to heaven. And it says 441. Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. It says she is the friend and sister of Eris, Eris being the god of war. And with him she delights in the tumult of war, increasing the moaning of men. She is insatiable in her desire for bloodshed, and after all the other gods have withdrawn from the battlefield, she still remains rejoicing over the havoc that has been made. According to Hesiod, she was a daughter of night, and the poet describes her as the mother of a variety of allegorical beings, which are the causes or representatives of man's misfortunes. It was Eris who threw the apple into the assembly of the gods, the cause of so much suffering and war. Virgil introduces Discordia as a being similar to the Homeric Eris, for Discordia appears in company with Mars, Bellona, and the Furies, and Virgil is evidently imitating Homer. And so you can see this goddess, so called, brings division, she brings war, she brings contention, and that is by the naming of this new variant, and that is what the elite hope to bring to the earth. But they're not actually in charge. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is in charge, and that's what Yahweh Shai will bring, which actually let's just go straight to that, because he said he's going to bring division. And so this is the book of Luke chapter 12 and verse 51. It says, "Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division." And so all these things that the elite are hoping to juggle up, it's really Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai juggling up these things. They're the ones bringing the division, the strife, the discord, the content. They're bringing this division that will happen here, and it's going to be on a worldwide scale with the world wars that are going to come. It's going to be on country scales, because there'll be different civil wars going on, especially here in Babylon. The Lord said he's going to set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. That means being the American against the American. You've got political discord between the left and the right. You've got it economically here. You've got it everywhere. You even have it between the genders, male and female. These gender wars that are going on. And this is all a sign that Yahweh Shai will be returning soon. It says, from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And so that's showing the division and how close to home it'll actually be. And you can see that division. You even see articles here and there talking about how this country is divided deeply, and it is. You got racial division, you have economic division, you've got gender division, you've got racial division. You've got it all throughout this country, and we will have these race wars and different civil wars going on here, and it's going to get physical eventually. Let's go back to Habakkuk chapter 1, because I thought this was a good explanation of Eris. And so Habakkuk 1, and we'll start at verse 1. It says, "The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord Yahweh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save." And I think we can all sympathize with Habakkuk there. Verse 3 says, "Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention." And Eris being the goddess of strife and contention. And just to set it straight, I'm not holding her up into god or goddess status. I'm just going into that name. The only God I worship and recognize is Yahweh, the Father, and His Son, Yahweh Shai. That is it. Verse 4 says, Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. The wicked being the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white man, or white people. They put that name on themselves. But you go to the book of Malachi, 1 and verse 4, and it lets you know that Esau is the wicked, the border of wickedness. So when you see, especially in the Old Testament, when you see the wicked, it's primarily speaking of Esau, Edom, even though there are the wicked of all the nations, but that is the top wicked. It says, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. And so they're trying to, and thinking that they're bringing this division and this discord and strife and contention, but it's really Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai working through them on the left hand, so that eventually the Lord's kingdom can be on this earth. But they have to be moved out of the way first. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, verse 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, woe being destruction. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. That being strife and contention right there. And discord. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And so, with the naming of this new variant, Eris, this is what should be looked forward to, because this is still future prophecy, and this still has to happen. You're going to have people breaking into their neighbors' houses. You're going to have people breaking into their governor's house and their different leaders and holding them to what they've done. You're going to have all sorts of wars and violence going on in these coming days. And we're very near. You can see the MOTB is ready to be released, and you can see the formation of World War III. And so Yahweh Shai is very close to returning. And so come back to the Lord so you don't have to be a part of all this strife and violence and contention that is coming to the earth. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.